A book from the year 600 still exists? Watch to find out. At number 7, The Rothschild Prayer Book, $15.3 million. The Rothschild Prayer Book is a 16th century Flemish manuscript lined with gold and filled with paintings and illustrations by master Renaissance artists. It's named after the wealthy Rothschild family that acquired it sometime during the year 1868. It's not known whether the book resided for 350 years prior. The book was stolen by the Nazis in 1938. Hitler gave it to the National Library in Vienna in 1942, but when the war ended, the library refused to send it to the Rothschilds. It finally returned to its rightful owners in 1999 and sold in 2014 to a billionaire Australian businessman, Kerry Stokes, for $13.6 million, which in today's money is $15.3 million. At number 6, The Bay Psalm Book, $15.94 million. Have you ever wondered what the title of the first book published in the U.S. could be? It's the Bay Psalm Book, a Christian literature initially published in 1640. The book was produced 20 years after the arrival of the Pilgrims at Plymouth, Massachusetts, and was first owned by the Old South Church in Boston, Massachusetts, before American billionaire businessman David Rubenstein purchased it. The Bay Psalm Book is comprised of metrical translations of the Book of Psalms, meant to be sung as hymns in a church, making it a metrical psalter. The Bay Psalm Book has gone through multiple different editions, but has remained valuable after many years. There are arguably 11 surviving copies of the first edition in the world right now, and one of them was sold in November 2013 with a price of $15.9 million. At number 5, St. Cuthbert Gospel, $15.95 million. This is one of the surviving books in the world today with a rich historical background. The early 8th century pocket gospel book was originally written in Latin and buried with St. Cuthbert in 687, but was recovered from the tomb in 1104. Also known as the Stonyhurst Gospel, the book got its popular name from St. Cuthbert of Lindisfarne, northeast England, the man who was buried with the book. Following the removal, the St. Cuthbert Gospel found a new home at Durham Cathedral, but was later passed on to Thomas Allen, the English Jesuit College, as well as the British Library. Whether it seems Cuthbert owned the book, thus the reason it was buried for him, further research revealed that the piece may have been written shortly after his death. It's presumed to be a gift from the Abbey of Church of St. Peter and St. Paul, Monqueer-Mouth, Jarrow, as the book was written there. At number 4, the Magna Carta, $26.9 million. Issued in 1215, the Magna Carta is a royal charter of rights designed by King John of England. It was the first document to officially declare that the king and his government were not above the law. Its intention was to prevent monarchies from exploiting their power and to place limits on royal authority. David Rubenstein, co-founder of the Carlyle Group, paid $21.3 million to ensure that the 1297 version of the historic document would stay in the U.S., whose own government was heavily influenced by the principles laid out in the charter. Its value today is $26.9 million. At number 3, The Gospels of Henry the Lion, $30.73 million. Originally published in 1984, The Gospels of Henry the Lion had been around long before then. It was commissioned by Henry the Lion, Duke of Saxony, around 1129 or 1131 to 1195. He intended it for use in Brunswick Cathedral at the altar of the Virgin Mary in the Church of St. Blaise's Abbey. The church in Brunswick was built in 1173, while its altar of the Virgin Mary was dedicated in 1188. Thus, the creation of the Gospel book is dated around some of the same period. Authorities placed it at about 1175, but further review of the date puts it about 1188. The Gospel book is currently being held at Herzog August Bibliothek in Wolfenbüttel, where it only gets to be exposed once in 2 years to preserve its antiquity. At number 2, the Book of Mormon, $37.35 million. The printer's manuscript of the sacred text of the Latter-day Saint movement is apparently one of the most expensive books you can find in the world. It supposedly contains writings of ancient prophets who existed around 2200 BC and AD 421. The first publication of the text was in 1830, when Joseph Smith, founder of the Latter-day Saint Church, published the text he named the Book of Mormon, an account written by the hand of the Mormon upon plates taken from the plates of Nephi. And at number 1, the Codex Leicester by Leonardo da Vinci, $54.4 million. The most expensive book ever sold was the Codex Leicester, which was bought by Bill Gates in 1994 for $30.8 million, which is about $54.4 million in 2021. Well, what's so special? The Codex Leicester was essentially Leonardo da Vinci's science diary. Created in 1510, it contained Da Vinci's drawings, theories, and observations of things like the movement of water, the luminosity of the moon, and why fossils of sea creatures can be found on mountains. Well guys, that's it for today. Let us know what your favorite book is in the comments below. Well, we hope you liked the video. Thanks so much for watching till the end, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.